40 seconds and counting. Alan Shepard reports that he's performing his final guidance alignment, the final maneuver the astronauts perform before liftoff. 30 seconds and counting. Stu Roosa just said, thanks, it's been a good count. 25 seconds and counting. We are still go.
Canary go.
20 seconds. Guidance alert. The guidance system now going internal. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Launch commit. Liftoff. We have liftoff with Apollo 14. 3 minutes past the hour. The tower is clear.
Roger, you have good thrust on all 5 engines. Okay, Houston, roll complete. Roger, roll complete.
Shepard reports roll program completed. Pitch profile still in progress. 37 seconds.
Stand by for mode 1 Bravo. Marked 1 Bravo now. Okay, we're 1 Bravo.
Capcom Gordon Fullerton making that report. Mark, 1 minute. Cabin pressure coming down, adjusting from sea level to a space environment. Status check in mission control, coming up all greens on the flight director's console.
In Houston, everything looks good here on the ground. Apollo 14, Houston, the booster is safe, and your orbit is go.
Roger. Good show. Go orbit, booster safe.
Very shortly, Flight Director Pete Frank will poll his flight control team as to our status for TLI.
Apollo 14, Houston. Go ahead. Your go for the moon, go for TLI.
Roger. Go for TLI.
Then 30 seconds away now from time of ignition. Our displays show a predicted apogee resulting from this burn of 250,263.7 nautical miles. We're at 2 hours, 28 minutes now into the flight. Standing by.
Ignition.
Roger, ignition.
Good start. Steering's good.
Roger, and we show good thrust on the S4B.
Houston, we're about to dock.
Roger.
Ed Mitchell reporting they're getting ready to dock. We're at 3 hours, 13 minutes now into the flight.
We're probably a foot, 18 inches to 2 foot out now.
Roger.
We're at 3 hours, 14 minutes into the flight. We show Apollo 14 at a distance of 6,184 nautical miles.
And we docked.
Roger, we can see a slight oscillation.
Mitchell reporting that Apollo 14 the command module, Kitty Hawk, has docked with the lunar module. We're at 3 hours, 14 minutes now into the flight. Apollo 14 presently 6,300 to 18 nautical miles away from Earth.
Okay, Houston, we've hit it twice, and sure looks like we're closing fast enough. I'm going to back out here and try it again. Roger. Well, we better back off here and think about this one, Houston. Roger.
We're unable to get a capture.
Roger, Ed.
That's Stu Russo and Ed Mitchell reporting that, at least at this point, they're unable to get a capture. We'll stand by.
Okay, Houston, we backed out a little bit, and that last time I hit it pretty good, and we're just not getting the capture latches in there.
Roger, we suggest you verify, if you haven't already, the docking probe circuit breakers on panel 8.
That's verified.
And stand by 1.
Okay, Houston 14, I can look in the drogue, and I can see 3 marks, 120 degrees apart, like the capture latches are scratching the drogue. They're about, I don't know, 1.5 inches long, going into the hole in the drogue, spaced about 120.
Okay, Houston, we'll review what we're going to do for you, see if it's the right thing. Stu is going to make the approach close at a very slow rate till the initial contact. He's going to call out at that time and apply plus X. I will then go to the retract prime 1 position.
That's it, Al. That should do it if that probe does actually retract, and if our alignment is good enough, the possibilities are pretty good of picking up the docking latch.
Okay, your theory is it's going to retract because you feel the capture latches are locked.
No, actually the impression here is that it is not going to retract.
Okay. Okay, Houston, we're about 12 to 15 feet away.
Roger, Ed. We got a very good picture.
We got some, Houston.
I believe we got a hard dock, Houston.
Stand there.
Yeah, I noticed no response for approximately 3 seconds after initiating prime retract 1. We then got barber pole on both, went gray on both at the hard dock.
Roger, Al. That's great. Super job, Stu.
Thank you.
It didn't even wiggle when he hit it.
Houston.
Brad Houston.
Okay, Al. Everything looks good down here, and you have a go for LOI.
Okay, we'll give it a go for LOI.
This is Apollo Control. We have had loss of signal as Apollo 14 went around the corner of the moon for the first time.
This is really a wild place up here.
Ron, you're not going to believe this. It looks just like the map.
That's great, Stu.
Hey, Fredo, we sure picked a clear day to arrive. There's not much haze in the air at all. We can see all the way to the horizon.
Incredible. Houston, you are go for DOI.
Okay, go for DOI. Thank you.
Team Houston, over.
Houston, Apollo 14.
Loud and clear, Al. A lot of people standing by to hear how it went.
Okay, the burn went essentially normally.
Are you ready, Al?
Okay, we're ready. We're ready, go.
Okay. Okay, you're moving out.
We're
And
clear.
you're hanging on the end of the probe. We'll wait till the motion stamp here. Okay, we seem real steady. I'm going to back off from you.
Okay.
And we're free.
And then Terry's Houston, your go for Palmaro.
Good show, Fredo. Thank you.
Thank you. You troops did a nice job down there.
That was beautiful. There's pitch over.
64, we have pitch over, Houston.
There's flow.
Roger, Al.
And there it is.
Right on the
That
money.
is right on the money.
What's the LPD, babe?
LPD 41.
Okay. Back. That is a shoot.
41.
Beautiful.
Right out the window, just like it should be.
Outstanding.
Great.
Okay.
Terry's Houston, your go for landing.
Here we go.
Thank you, sir.
3,000.
Back next.
Okay, you're out of 3,000 now, 75 feet a second.
Okay, that LPD is real good.
Houston, I'm on half.
Roger, Ed.
Okay, 2,000, 48 feet.
One
Coming
click
down a
left.
little fast.
One click left.
2,050 feet a second, a little bit fast, but not bad.
Okay. Outstanding.
Okay, 1,500. Little fast, not bad. Moving in well. LPD's 40 out.
Okay.
Coming through 1,000 feet. 27 feet, right on schedule. Right on schedule now. We're back Cone Crater, right outside to my right.
Okay, the best spot is a little south of track, about halfway between Triplet and Doublet. A little south of track.
Okay?
About 60 meters.
And
That's
it
where we're
looks good
going.
from here. Good from here. Okay, Al, you're through 550 feet.
Okay.
16 feet per second, 500 feet, 15 feet per second. It looks good. Your fuel is good at 10%.
Okay, let's take it over and move it up a
Okay.
little.
Yeah, I think so. You're through 320
On a hand
feet.
hole.
Okay. Yeah, give it a few clicks. You're through 200 feet. At
Low
5
level.
feet per second. That looks good.
No level here.
9% fuel looks great. Okay, looks like you're going right over the middle of Triplet. 170 feet out, 2 feet per second down, 8% fuel. You're looking good.
Okay.
Okay, 170 feet in holding. About 1 foot per second down. Want to speed it up a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to move forward.
Okay. 7% fuel. Okay, you're still at 170 feet indicated.
Starting down.
Okay, you can move on forward. You're just barely crossing North Triplet. Barely crossing North Triplet. Percent fuel, okay. 150 feet. There's decent quantity light.
Okay. All right.
And you can land over here. There's some dust now. 110 feet. 3 feet per second down. You're looking great.
Top
Great,
it
great.
for
6%. There's good dust. You're on your own. It's
Starting
looking
down.
good.
Starting down.
Okay. It says 90 feet. 4 feet per second. 5 feet per second down.
Okay.
Down. Looking great.
60 seconds.
We're in good shape.
Okay, 50 feet down. 50 feet.
We're in good shape, too.
50 feet per second. 40 feet. 3 feet per second. 30. 3 feet per second. Looking great. 20 feet. 10. 3 feet per second. Contact now.
2, stop.
Brake. Pro. Auto. We're on the surface.
Okay, we made a good landing.
Roger, Antares.
413 plus 10,000. That was a beautiful one.
Yeah, we're slightly off. We landed the slope, but other than that, we're in great shape.
Yep.
Right on the landing site.
Okay, Al, beautiful. We can see you coming down the ladder right now. It looks like you're about on the bottom step and on the surface. Bedford, old man.
Okay, you're right. Al is on the surface, and it's been a long way, but we're here. And I can see the reason we have a tilt is because we landed on the slope. The landing gear struts appear to be about evenly depressed. Take a look at Fra Mauro. Take a look at Cone Crater, I should say, which is right where it should be, and is a very impressive sight.
And it's very great to be coming down.
Roger, bottom step.
This one is a long one. Set check, very easy to do.
Okay, what do you think's a good spot for the Alsep?
Oh boy, it's going to be tough, Al. I just head out toward Dublin out there and let's look.
Yeah, camera will be deployed west toward Dublin, where the ALSEP or scientific package activity will be viewed.
I guess then you can see where the area where the football-sized rock is coming from. It's essentially 2/3 of the way back toward the LEM from the Alsep site. Rock appears to have been ejected from the crater which Ed was describing earlier. His 1230 position. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a small football-sized rock. Turn out to be 2 of them.
Shepard reports he's going through the hatch.
Second, I'll clear your antenna.
Okay. Okay, Houston, Al is in the cabin, and bliss speed water is coming off.
Roger, Al, in the cabin and plus speed water off.
Okay, the hatch is closed and locked.
Toronto, I'm good.
Roger the hatch.
I have 10 questions having to do with the EVA. We don't want elaborate answers because they're, of course, cut into your sleep period. Okay, question number 1 about EVA 1. How do you feel about your planned second EVA now that you've done the first, especially in terms of time and terrain? Over.
I think that the second EVA will go a little more smoothly with respect to the timeline. It's not as complicated as far as the equipment is concerned. We don't spend as much time moving around with bliss and scientific equipment. It's primarily a geological traverse once the thing has gotten by the first few minutes. And we should be able to build a timeline and hang on to that real well. And we, of course, are again counting on at least a 30-minute extension to the nominal time. So that's the reason we'd like to start early.
Roger, do you feel the terrain will be any problem?
We don't. We had no difficulty at all in traversing the terrain. As a matter of fact, we were bounding along even with the barbells and the mat. The traversing is extremely easy, although we have a rolling landscape and lots of craters to circumnavigate. I believe from looking at cones, we'll be able to get up there with no trouble at all.
Okay.
I completely concur in that. The undulating terrain is just a surprise. It's not that much more difficult.
Roger, Ed. Second question is, would you please describe the rim of Doublet, especially the blockiness? Over.
Well, I don't think you'd call Doublet a blocky rim. The craters, North and South Doublet, of course, are both older craters and have subdued rims. There are some blocks of ejecta at and near the vicinity of the rims, but and there are a few blocks down inside. For example, we can look at the west wall of South Doublet from here and see a few fairly good-sized rocks, perhaps 3 or 4 feet at the largest. But I really wouldn't call it a blocky rim. It's a fairly well-subdued rim.
Concur, and the biggest blocks we can see on the rim of Doublet correspond to these large ones I pointed out in my TV pan. There are some of that size or maybe a little larger, but the population is minuscule compared with the total rim area of Doublet.
Roger. Third question, how deep is the Dip erosion crater?
It's not very deep at all. The photographs will show that perhaps only 4 inches is maximum depth.
Okay, and can you describe the lineations and how far out they went, their orientation and direction?
These delineations that I referred to earlier, are you talking about lineations from the dip edges?
The ones that you referred to earlier, Ed.
Okay, they're there, and I saw evidences of them at directions different than the exhaust would cause, but there just simply was not time to look at them. We'll have to look at them tomorrow.
Okay. Next question, on the football samples, were they documented?
Affirmative, they were documented with a stereo pair before, in the case of both samples. And they were taken from the crater, which is located at, let's see, CR1 and 646. They came from the southwest, near the southwest rim of that crater.
Roger, Al. Next question, did you notice any variations in soil mechanics characteristics at various locations where legs or poles were pushed in, such as the solar wind staff, the flag staff, geophone anchors, penetrometer, and so forth?
There's a few places around, primarily fill, or rather a throw out from craters, or what are obviously near the rims of craters, have a softer, there's a softer material around them than there is just in general. However, that there are some mini craters that you find the soft material quite often, but generally on the fresher ones. Along my traverse, rather along the upper geophone line, there are 2 or 3 fairly fresh craters along that line that had some quite soft material around them. And it was a matter of sinking in 2, 3 or 4 inches instead of the normal 1/2 to 3/4 that we're sinking in out here.
Roger, Ed. On the surface features of rocks marked, well, we'd like a description of the surface features of the rocks. If they are marked, variations in rounding, angularity, grain size, size distribution, shape, texture, and color. Over.
You're getting into stuff we're going to have to look at tomorrow. We just barely had time to finish the all step and get back. The rocks I see from the cockpit, there are some rounded rocks. I can see 2 or 3 that are buried that have some rounding on top. I see some angular rocks. As far as granularity,
crystal size, et cetera, et cetera. We didn't have time to look at any of that. We'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Okay, this next question probably falls in the same category. I'll read it in case you have anything to say about it, and that is to describe the regolith, the general nature, fragment distribution, fragment shapes, variations in texture, color, surface patterns, and firmness.
Okay, we could give a quick one on that. I think we've already done most of it. The regolith is mostly a mouth, brown, or sometimes looking gray, powdery material, almost like a chalk ground up. It's that thin and that fine grain. There are a few rocks scattered around the population, less than 1%, ranging in size from 5 to 6, well, I guess 2 or 3 centimeters, but the ones that are obvious that aren't buried are 5 or 6 centimeters. Up to the largest ones that I've seen are the ones I showed you in the pan, which are 3 or 4 or 5 feet across. The distribution is less than 1%, but you see a few of these blocks sitting all around the landscape as far as you can see, and I guess they're even out over toward Dublin, which we didn't say was blocky, but these smaller ones might not be visible at that distance.
Okay, did you notice any variations in the color or surface patterns or texture?
It looks all about the same as far as the general regolith here is concerned, but again, we haven't looked at it that carefully, or I didn't look at it that carefully, just because of the press of time. By and large, it is all this very fine grain material with a few scattered rocks on top of it. Let's see if we can do a better job of describing it tomorrow for you.
Roger. How abundant was glass?
The place I thought I saw glass, and I didn't have time to confirm it, was in a very small crater along the Thumper line. It looked like there was a little pool of glass at the bottom, and this crater was only about 2 foot across and maybe 8 inches deep. It had quite a bit of a small, chunky material in it, but it had a different color and looked very glassy at the bottom. And I didn't have time to go back and look at it, but I'm sure there's some more of that around.
Roger. Last question is, how abundant were fillets? Do those by the limb appear to be disturbed by the dips? Over.
I think we find some fillets. I don't know whether the percentage is as high as 50% or not of the surface rocks, but yes, there is some filleting, and you'll notice in the small football-sized rocks there is a fillet pattern around them. There is filleting here, of course, fairly close to the limb, and it's hard to tell whether it's natural or whether it's from the limb exhaust.
All right, and Houston, the LPM is loaded on board the Met. I'll start on out if you want to turn the camera around. I just wanted to get a good direction. Actually, our sight to A, directly toward the center of the crater. Yep, that's right over that way. And it's 2, 6, 350 meters, 1,000 feet. Okay, let's start out that direction and take a look around. Okay, and I'll aim the camera toward Cone. Okay, you're looking at Cone.
Roger, Al. We have a little bit of a glare across the center, but in the background we can see the crest of Cone.
And the grade's getting pretty steep. And the soil here is a bit firmer, I think, than we've been on before. Except around the mounds in between craters where it's been thrown up. But by and large, it seems to have a little firmer footing. We're not sinking in as deep.
should help you with the climb there.
That helps a little bit. Al's picked up Al's got the back of the mitt now, and we're carrying it up. I think it seems easier. That's right.
There are two guys here that figured you'd carry it up.
Say again?
Said there's two guys sitting next to me here that kind of figured you'd end up carrying it up.
Well, it'll roll along here, except we just move faster carrying it. We're really going up a pretty steep slope here.
Yeah, we kind of figured that from listening to you.
Okay, well now that's apparently the rim of cone over there. And we're about almost 2 hours now, is that right, Fred?
Okay, we're showing 157.5 now.
Okay. That's at least 30 minutes up there.
Yep.
And I would say we'd probably do better to go up to those boulders there. Document that. Use that as a turnaround point.
Yep. It's going to take longer than we expected. Our positions are all in doubt now, Fredo. What we were looking at was a flank, but it wasn't really, the top of it wasn't the rim of cone. We got a ways to go yet.
Okay, Ed, and
Well, perhaps you can think. Perhaps you can think with us if you want. I'd say that the rim is at least 30 minutes away. We're approaching the edge of the boulder field here on the south flank.
Let's look at the map.
And what I'm proposing is perhaps we use that as a turnaround point. It seems to me that we spend an awful lot of time in traverse if we don't, and we don't get very many samples.
Okay, Fredo, my plan. I'm out in the area of this boulder field. I'm going to photograph many of the boulders, the rocks, the broken ones, the big ones, what have you, and then grab as many of the different fragments as I can around these piles of broken boulders. Now that I'm here, I see a large number of inclusions. I can't tell whether they're crystals or not. I think that they are. And I'll grab as many of these and give you before and after shots as I can of a whole way bag full of rocks.
okay, Ed, that sounds great.
Well, Houston, while you're looking that up, you might recognize what I have in my hand as the handle for the contingency sample return. It just so happens to have a genuine 6-iron on the bottom of it. In my left hand, I have a little white pellet that's familiar to millions of Americans. Drop it down. Unfortunately, the suit is so stiff I can't do this with 2 hands, but I'm going to try a little sand trap shot here.
They got more dirt than ball that time.
Got more dirt than ball. Here we go again.
That looked like a slice to me, Al.
There we go. Raise the die. One more. Miles and miles and miles. Okay, Houston. Crew of Antares is leaving from our base.
Roger, Al, yeah. You and Ed did a great job. Don't think I could have done any better myself.
That's debatable, isn't it, Fredo?
Well, I guess not now, Ed.
And with this closeout, Al Shepard, now at age 27 years, becomes the undisputed leader in time spent working on the moon. More than 9 hours. Running a close second is his partner, Ed Mitchell.
The abort stage is set. Gas and engine is armed. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have ignition.
What a liftoff.
And liftoff.
Roger, ignition.
Smooth.
There's pitch over. 10 seconds.
Roger.
Hey, baby. It's good.
Okay, we captured.
Beautiful, normal docking.
Okay. And we got a hard dock.
Beautiful. A big sigh of relief being breathed around here.
All over the world there is.
You ought to try it from up here.
This world and out of this world, too.
Apollo 14, Houston.
Hello, Houston, Apollo 14.
Roger, Al, you're loud and clear.
Reading you loud and clear, Houston. Okay, Gordo, we had a good burn. Good burn, we're on the way home. Please let separation, Houston.
Roger. Our velocity now showing 36,000 feet per second, 1,500 miles from splashdown. And we're 24 seconds from entry. We're now at the entry point. In about 18 seconds we should have blackout. That'll last until about 3 minutes 35 seconds after entry. Yeah, Apollo 14, that's about 8 seconds to the beginning of blackout. We'll talk to you when you come out the other side, over.
Okay, Bruce. It sounds good.
We should have come out of blackout. We'll stand by for reestablishment of communications through the Apollo range instrumented aircraft. Capcom McCandless putting in a call to the crew now. Apollo 14, this is Houston through Orion 3. How do you read, over? Okay, 14, now you're coming in loud and a little bit of noise through Orion 3. How'd it go?
Very good. Things are looking good, Bruce. CMC checking real well.
Good show, Stu. On television, looks like a beautiful day out there in the recovery area.
Apollo 14, New Orleans, over. This is 14, make it out clear. Roger, request crew status and position. The crew is fine. We have completed the dump and the purge. We're in the checklist. Everybody's in good shape. Roger, request position. Apollo 14, New Orleans, request computer readout. Okay, give me 2701 and 17266. 2701, 17266. Copy. And passing a ball speed. Roger. 533,000. Roger. Welcome home. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Bridge over 1, everybody's in good shape. Roger. Crew shooter. Detached 1 apparently is looped over command module. Roger. I think that's correct. I can see it through our window. The entry has been placed down. The first astronaut, and I believe it's astronaut Ruth is aboard the rescue net.
Recovery helicopter reporting astronaut Rusa aboard the recovery net.
Astronaut Rusa is back there. And he is safely
astronaut Ed Mitchell reported the second crewman on the way up to the recovery helicopter.
The anchor has been placed inside, and astronaut Shepard is aboard. Astronaut Shepard is safely aboard recovery.
This is Apollo Control. The prime recovery ship reported its estimate on the splashdown coordinates, agreed almost precisely with the onboard spacecraft readout. 27 degrees, 2 minutes south, 172 degrees, 40 minutes west. That splashdown occurred at 216 hours, 42 minutes.